Hello, and welcome to this video. This is going to be my first video, so it's nice to meet you. Today I am going to be covering some K-pop groups that I think get way too much hate. These groups are ones that I have been judged for standing, and it's very tiring to be judged for liking these groups. Now, these groups may have done some problematic or controversial things, and I'm not here to defend those things at all. I'm just here to say that I think that the hate these groups get has gotten out of hand and that I don't think they deserve it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first group on this list that I believe gets too much hate is Stray Kids. Now, a big reason I see for the large amount of hate Stray Kids gets is for having quote-unquote bad and noisy boy group music. So, I can agree that their title tracks can be quite noisy at times, and I'm not here to judge anyone for maybe not liking their title tracks or even their other music. My issue lies in the situations where K-pop stans feel the need to send hate to the group and generalize all their music as noisy when they most likely have never listened to a Stray Kids B-side. As someone who hates Stray Kids, their discography is very diverse and they work with a lot of genres. I strongly recommend the song Silent Cry, but that's just me. If you really don't like the high energy and noisy aspect of their title tracks, I recommend songs like Chill, Waiting for Us, Sunshine, and even Levanter, which is a title track itself. Even though their music is much more than noise music, the point of this video is not to convince anybody to get into this group. The point is to say that just because you don't particularly enjoy Stray Kids music, it does not mean that they deserve any hate. You can feel however you want about the group, and dislike them whether it be because of their music or past controversies, but it gets to the point where it's not holding them accountable or just your opinion on their music, and it just becomes hateful. Personally, I rarely enjoy boy groups, but I really enjoy Stray Kids for many reasons, and it's sad for such a genuinely talented and good group to receive so much hate, and I definitely think K-pop stans should avoid the group and their fandom if they do not like them. The next group I want to talk about that I think gets too much hate is aespa. With aespa, there are various reasons that they get hate. Their concept, stage presence, Giselle's controversy, etc. I want to try to touch on each of these things, so let's get started. So, their concept is definitely unique and you are allowed to dislike it, but it's no reason to send them hate in my opinion. That's all I really have to say about that. The next thing that gets them a lot of hate is their quote-unquote bad stage presence. I'm not here to say that aespa have the best stage presence in the world, and it's okay to give them constructive criticism on it, but I feel like most aespa antis take it way too far. Disclaimer: I am in no way saying that everyone who criticizes aespa are haters or antis, I'm just saying that the antis are typically the people who take it way too far. It goes so far to the point where I've seen entire YouTube channels that have a large amount of videos just for making fun of aespa, and in my opinion if it were any other group, they'd get hate for doing so. Now, I do not in any way defend what Giselle did and I do think she should receive backlash and be held accountable for what she did, but I feel like people use this to drag the entire group. I know that this comparison has been made many times, but I truly believe that if Giselle were a male idol, the whole situation would be forgotten entirely, but when Giselle did it she was labeled and still receives hate to the level of death threats to this day. I do think she needs to be held accountable and educated on what she did, but labeling her without knowing her intention and then going on to hate on the entire group is going too far. There are many more reasons people dislike aespa, too many for me to cover here, but the point is that if aespa are not for you, just don't follow them or listen to their music. It's not fair for them to receive a lot of hate for any reason, and I honestly believe they deserve an apology from a lot of K-pop stans. The next group I will be discussing is wjsn. This part is inspired by what YouTuber Planet Minji said, so definitely check out his video and channel. Now, wjsn don't have the biggest international fanbase, but they are well liked domestically and do have casual listeners internationally. The hate started after they won Net survival show Queendom. They received a lot of hate from Loona fans specifically, with a large portion of Loona fans believing that the voting results were rigged. Now, I'm not going to be sharing my opinion on the rumors of the voting being rigged. The main thing is that just because wjsn won, It does not make them deserving of any hate, even if the results were rigged. It's fine to be skeptical of the results as NET does have a track record of allegedly rigging results, but it doesn't make wjsn deserving of any hate. I say this as an orbit who wanted Loona to win. Give it up. You can be upset about Loona losing, but don't send hate to wjsn. Next, I will be talking about NMIXX. This part will probably be a bit shorter than the others as I don't know a lot about this group, as they are the only group on this list that I do not actively stan. They have been receiving a lot of hate since their pre-debut days for plagiarism allegations, and having a very polarizing debut song. I definitely do acknowledge the similarities between NMIXX and other groups, but even if it is plagiarism, it's not the members' faults and they don't deserve as much hate as they get. Disliking their music is also obviously not a valid reason to hate on them. You can criticize them without sending them hate. There is a very big difference. I say this as someone who once was on the NMIXX hate bandwagon. I realized that hating NMIXX isn't making me happier, and I also made that same realization for many more K-pop groups. I even enjoy their song Dice, and it is a guilty pleasure for me. You don't have to stan them, just don't send them hate. Lastly, I am going to be covering wjsn. Now, I was going to cover IVE as a whole, but I kinda realized that my discussion is mainly centered around wjsn, so I decided to discuss her alone. There are many reasons people hate wjsn, and almost none of them make any sense. People hate her for being allegedly favored by Starship, which I understand a little bit, but I don't think it makes her deserving of hate. Also, K-pop stans clearly do not understand what a pick-me girl is. A pick-me girl is someone who puts down other women to gain male validation. K-pop stans seem to think that a woman interacting with a man makes her a pick-me. It's genuinely so confusing seeing wjsn getting hate for such simple things, and it's mostly boy group fans doing it because they are jealous that a female idol interacted with their favorite male idol. There are honestly too many reasons to cover as to why people send wjsn hate, but the point is, it's so unnecessary and embarrassing on the parts of the people sending the hate. I really don't understand why she was the target of all this hate, but it seems like K-pop stans always need a villain or someone to put down. Honestly, wjsn alone. Dislike her if you want, but stop bashing her for pretty much no reason. It just makes you look sad and bored. That is going to be all for this video. I feel like I started ranting a little bit on the wjsn section, and for that I apologize. I feel like there are so many more idols and groups that get unnecessary hate, but these are the groups/idols I decided to cover. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.